While our measures remain in place, they will be simplified with a focus on what the Health Ministry says are the 5 core parameters. First, group sizes. From February the 25th, the maximum number of unique visitors per household will be adjusted from 5 persons per day to 5 at any one time. Next, safe distancing. It's encouraged but will not be required in all mask-on settings. It continues to be required for all mask-off settings, which will be a single safe distance of 1 meter. Before we get to the other 3, let's first hear from Minister Ong.
We no longer forbid practices that actually do not make a material difference to the pandemic, but which we are observing very strictly. For example, so long as people are wearing masks, there's no need to cross out alternate seats in park benches, for example, or the urinals in a men's toilet. And the men will know sometimes they are actually crossed out, alternate ones are crossed out, which is not necessary so long as you're wearing a mask. Or when people wear their masks and they stand together and take a photo, they don't have to be a meter apart. Yeah. So I think all these little things really don't matter anymore, and we can do away with them.
Back to the 5 parameters. Thirdly, workplace requirements will be aligned with community measures. For instance, social gatherings at workplaces will be allowed again with up to 5 people, and colleagues will not need to socially distance as long as they wear masks. Moving on to capacity limits. From March the 4th, specific event size limits and zoning requirements will be lifted for events with fewer than 1,000 people, like religious services, business events, media conferences, funerals, wedding receptions, and mask-on classes. For larger settings with over 1,000 people, like attractions, cruises, MICE events, and shopping malls, these would be subject to a capacity limit of 50%. And lastly, mask wearing. Well, no change there. It continues to be required as a default.
We think it will be easier for everyone to remember and understand the rationale for these MMMs, and so comply with them and adjust to a new phase of having to live with the virus. Second, having these key parameters will enable us to adjust the SMMs more nimbly and responsively. So if we were to ease in the coming weeks, we can ease along these 5 parameters, and if ever there is a need to tighten because of the threat of a new deadly variant, we will also be able to tighten along these 5 parameters.